Today marked our 6th wedding anniversary. It was also the 10th day of our Cold War. That evening, she called me. Something came up at work. I won't be coming home tonight. No endearment. Just a cold, detached voice. I replied without much emotion. Got it. 6 years. Every anniversary before this. No matter how busy we were, we'd always made time for each other. Even if it was just a simple meal. We'd spend that special day together. After I spoke, silence fell on the other end of the line. You. Her voice came first. You go first. I took a deep breath. Let's get a divorce. Emma went silent again. 10 days earlier, Emma said she was going to her high school reunion and asked me to come along. That's where I saw him. I'm Ethan Hayes. The one that got away. At first, everything was fine. He ignored me. And I ignored him. But after a few rounds of drinks, Ethan raised his glass from across the table and smirked at the group. Emma's always been the capable one, runs everything. Both at home and at the office. Some people really hit the jackpot. Though. Just lie back and let everything come to you. Total kept man. Am I right? His mocking gaze landed directly on me. Hey. You've got a decent face. Did you get work done? Without waiting for a reply, he turned back to the crowd. Come to think of it, women who chase money are called gold diggers. What do you call a man who does the same? The whole table erupted in laughter. All eyes turned to me, full of mockery and contempt. I hadn't planned on engaging with Ethan. But if he was determined to be an asshole, I wasn't about to let him get away with it. First, I offered my thoughts on his family ethics and personal hygiene. Then I expressed my sincere concern for his cognitive faculties. And finally, I suggested some improvements to his moral character. Ethan's face turned white, then green. He couldn't get a single word out. Humiliated, he slammed his glass down and stormed out, face thunderous. The room went dead quiet. The atmosphere couldn't have been more awkward. Emma was furious. She turned on me immediately. Liam, Ethan doesn't mean anything by it. He just speaks his mind. It was just a joke. What you said was awful. When did you become so aggressive? So cruel with your words? You went too far. Don't you think you owe him an apology? In that moment, I felt nothing but absurdity and a cold, sinking disappointment. I even wondered if Emma had lost her mind. When Ethan was insulting me right to my face, she'd said nothing. Hadn't defended me at all. But the second I fought back instead of taking it, suddenly I was the bad guy. I didn't get it. If someone mocks your spouse right in front of you, doesn't that mean they don't respect you at all? I looked at her coldly. You say it was a joke. I'm not laughing. No matter how straightforward he is, he doesn't get to talk to me like that. If he's going to make me miserable, I'm going to make him miserable right back. Apologize. Not a chance. Emma's face darkened further. The other alumni started jumping in to defend Ethan. They said I'd be nothing without Emma. That if she hadn't married me, she and Ethan would have ended up together. Like they were always meant to. That I was some nobody who'd lucked out and still wasn't satisfied. Emma gave me one last disappointed look. You're being completely unreasonable. She walked out without looking back. The reunion ended on terrible terms. From that day on, Emma never came back to our marital home. Her assistant even relayed a message. Ms. Sterling says if you decide you're ready to apologize, she'll arrange it. Apologize to Ethan. Like hell. If she didn't want to come home, fine. I was done with her. After I brought up divorce, Emma went quiet again. After a long moment, she spoke, sounding incredulous. Liam, is this really just because I asked you to apologize to Ethan? Before we got married, I'd heard Ethan's name before. From Emma's best friend Olivia. She'd said it half joking, half serious, that Emma had carried a torch for him for years. They'd been classmates since high school. Then went to the same university. Childhood sweethearts. Basically, everyone assumed they'd end up together. But junior year, Ethan decided he wanted to study abroad. The second he got that acceptance letter from a top school, he left without looking back. Olivia had sighed softly back then. If he hadn't left, the person standing next to Emma right now definitely wouldn't be you. At the time, Emma and I had been dating for 2 years. Things were steady. I'm not an unreasonable person. Everyone has something from their youth they can't quite let go of. She had her past. I had mine. I figured you keep moving forward. The past is the past. She chose me in the end. And I chose her. I wanted to trust her. And as a girlfriend, Emma really was perfect. She let me look through her phone whenever. Always told me where she was going. Introduced me to all her friends. All her family. Stood up for me to her parents every time. She was naturally affectionate. And even more so after we got married. The second she was off work, she'd come straight home to be with me. When I pulled all-nighters, she'd quietly make me something to eat and wait up. Things I mentioned liking in passing. She'd buy them as surprises. Always brought me gifts from business trips. Until my birthday last year. I'd had my eye on this mechanical watch for ages. But never could bring myself to buy it. On my birthday, Emma handed me a beautifully wrapped box with exactly that watch inside. I was so warm. So touched. I wore it all day. Didn't want to take it off. A few days later, I was driving her car and happened to tidy out the glove compartment. Found another watch box. Opened it. Exact same model. Exact same style as the one on my wrist. I blinked and turned to her in the passenger seat. Why'd you buy two identical watches? Emma looked totally casual. A friend of mine has wanted this one forever. But it's always out of stock. I picked one up for him. That's all. I didn't think much of it at the time. Didn't really care. Until later. When I stopped by her office, there was a man standing by her desk. I'd seen photos before. It was Ethan. And what stung most? The watch on his wrist. Exactly like mine. That's when I realized. The friend Emma had been talking about was Ethan. He'd been back in the country this whole time. Working at her company. Reporting directly to her. Emma noticed my face fall. She sent Ethan out. Took my arm. And explained seriously. Babe. He just got back. He's still adjusting to working and living here. He's just crashing at the company for now. She promised me they were just colleagues. That she knew where the line was. Would keep things professional. Wouldn't cross it. Then she kissed me. Don't overthink it. He's only here for 3 months. Once he's settled, he'll leave. She looked me right in the eye. So sincere and open I couldn't find a single thing to fault. What was I supposed to say? I just told her I got it and left it at that. Then, more things started happening. Emma stayed late again and again. Helping Ethan finish his projects. Brought him to galas and events instead of her secretary. He even started using her private elevator. Small things. But enough to make me sick to my stomach. I said to her, "You really do treat Ethan differently." Emma was perfectly calm. Ethan's had to work for everything he has. Nothing came easy. As a friend, it's only right I help him out a little. Before I could even say I was upset, she was already annoyed. Liam, do you have to be so petty about this? If you could help a friend, would you just stand by and do nothing? I've always trusted you completely. After all these years, can't you trust me? There she was. So self-righteous. They hadn't cheated. Hadn't kissed. Hadn't held hands. Hadn't slept together. But everything she did for Ethan, it was like a splinter under your skin. Not fatal. But it ached. All the time. 8 years together. You don't just walk away from that. So I sat her down and told her. Seriously. Emma. I can't handle how close you are to Ethan. It's way beyond just friends. I want you to make him leave your company. And cut back on contact with him after that. You know where my line is. 3 strikes and you're out. I was giving her one last chance. I remember she didn't look happy about it. The next day, she did make Ethan leave the company. But from that day on, I could feel it was holding something against me. Her tone went lukewarm. Stopped telling me everything. Changed her phone passcode so I couldn't get in. I knew exactly what she was thinking. That she was just being nice to an old friend. That she hadn't cheated. That I was acting. That I was being unreasonable. And then that so-called class reunion happened. Pushed our relationship right past the breaking point. I took a good, hard look at our marriage. And I decided I wanted out. Liam. I really don't get what his problem is with you. Why do you have to hate him so much? Why pick fights? Emma's voice held a thread of anger when I didn't answer. I've never picked a fight with him. I said evenly. You're the one who keeps putting us against each other. Whether you two crossed a line or not. It doesn't matter anymore. The only thing I want right now is a divorce. Emma was quiet for a long time. When she spoke again, her voice was rough. 6 years. All that time together. And you want to throw it all away over something this trivial. I actually laughed. Emma. If it's so trivial, why have you been giving me the cold shoulder for 10 days? Why act like you won't come home until I apologize? This time, there was only silence on the other end. I didn't want to rehash the same old arguments. I got back to the point. The divorce papers are at the house. Come by whenever you have time and sign them. I knew Emma too well. She was proud. Never the first to back down. Even if she didn't want this, she'd never beg me to stay. Sure enough, after a few seconds, her voice came back, small and tight. Fine. The divorce went through smoothly. No fighting. No drama. We'd already worked out the property split. Everything we'd owned before the marriage houses. Savings went back to each of us. Appreciation from during the marriage. We split down the middle. The house we'd bought together. I told her to buy me out in cash. The moment we walked out with the divorce certificates, Emma looked terrible. She stared at me, disappointed and confused. Do you really not want anything to do with me at all anymore? I looked down at the paper in my hand. We're divorced. Clean break is better for both of us. Emma's eyes welled up instantly. That same afternoon, I called movers. Took everything that was mine from the house. As I left, I glanced back. Strangely, I didn't feel sad at all. Just light. Like a weight I'd been carrying forever was finally gone. After that, I threw myself into work. Reports. Projects. Client meetings. Non-stop. Money was the only thing that felt real. The only thing I could count on. 2 weeks went by. Quiet and routine. Then my friend Noah called. Said there was a new resort out on the edge of town. Nice place. He'd rounded up a few people. Wanted me to come get out of the house for a bit. He wore me down. I said yes. We were in the hot springs when I spotted some familiar figures not far away. The most obvious one. Emma. She was surrounded by friends. And right next to her, laughing and chatting, Ethan. Noah's face fell. He leaned in. Voice low. I had no idea they'd be here. If I'd known, I never would have brought you. Seriously. I didn't know. I'd only told Noah about the divorce. He was probably worried it'd be awkward running into exes. I shook my head. Honestly, I didn't feel much of anything. Emma was staring right at me. Heavy and unreadable. I didn't feel like making small talk. I stood up. Grabbed my towel and phone from the edge. And said quietly to Noah. Let's go somewhere else. I'd barely taken a step when Ethan called out. Liam. About last time I'll admit I went too far. I'm apologizing today. He paused. Then added. But let's be fair. You weren't exactly innocent either. How about you apologize too? I almost laughed out loud. I looked at him coldly. I accept your apology. But I didn't do anything wrong. So I'm not apologizing. Ethan's face froze. Emma was watching me. Jaw tight. Clearly annoyed. Her friends jumped in immediately to defend Ethan. Come on. Liam. You're a grown man. Don't be so petty. Ethan said he's sorry. You gonna hold a grudge forever? Look. You're Emma's husband. For her sake. Just shake hands and make up. Yeah. Bro. Don't burn bridges. No need to make a scene out of this. One after another. So Emma hadn't told any of them we were divorced. I swept my gaze over all their self-righteous faces and scoffed. Emma and I are already divorced. Why would I do anything for her sake? And don't call me bro anymore. Dead silence. I turned and walked away. Ignoring their shocked, gaping faces. I'd barely made it 2 steps when Emma came rushing after me. Did you have to humiliate everyone like that? In front of all those people? Her voice was tight, hurt and confused. I raised an eyebrow. I just told the truth. How is that humiliating? Divorce isn't some dirty secret. Why hide it? Emma's frown deepened. She sounded urgent now. Liam. You know that's not what I'm talking about. Olivia likes Ethan. We were all here trying to set them up. Why did you have to embarrass him like that? Why do you keep picking on him? My own voice went cold. Emma. We're divorced. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I turned to leave again. But she grabbed my arm. If you really don't care, Why'd you leave the second you saw us? She challenged. I pulled my arm away. Hard. Stepped back, putting distance between us. In her shocked, wounded eyes, I said, "This is a public place. I can come and go as I please. I don't answer to you. Though yeah. Now that you're here, I'm definitely leaving. Ethan annoys the hell out of me. And honestly, I don't really like you right now either. Why would I stick around people I can't stand? Just to make myself miserable." My face was calm. My tone was even. But there was no room for argument. Emma looked furious. Fists clenched. Trembling a little. I smiled slightly. "Emma. I signed a partnership deal with Ryan Technologies." She blinked. Automatically nodding. "I knew you could do it. A few months back? I'd found out Ryan Tech was looking for new partners. Our projects lined up perfectly with what they did. If I could get my foot in the door, the deal was as good as done." Emma knew their CEO. I asked if she'd put in a word for me. This is what she'd said: "Business runs on merit, not connections. If your company's good enough and your projects are strong enough, they'll want to work with you even without me introducing you." She'd sounded so noble. So fair. Don't always be looking for shortcuts. It's not fair to the other companies. And if I'm not supposed to help Ethan anymore, you shouldn't be asking me for favors either. This was right after I'd made her fire Ethan. She was still mad about it. Lumped me in with him. And refused to help just to get back at me. I'd been angry back then. We're married. We sleep together. Are you sleeping with Ethan too? She'd called me unreasonable and stormed out. Neither of us brought it up again after that. I'd had to drink myself sick schmoozing the Ryan Tech CEO before we finally closed the deal. Emma must have been thinking about that day too. She took a step toward me. "Liam. Can we talk?" "There's nothing to talk about." She pressed her lips together. "I didn't cheat on you. Stop treating me like some kind of monster." I gave a cold laugh. "Sometimes I wish you had." Emma's face darkened instantly. Honestly. 8 years together. I wasn't totally unaffected. She'd been the one to pursue me. Originally. I grew up poor. Took out student loans for college. Still had to work for every cent of living expenses. So I did everything. Flyers. Campus errands. Library shifts. Cafeteria work. Tutoring. If it paid. I did it. I met Emma when I was delivering water on campus. She was surprised. Said she'd seen me all over the place. "You're incredible," she'd said. Genuine and a little playful. Like you never get tired. Total Iron Man. After that, we'd nod when we ran into each other. But nothing more. We really got to know each other when she got sick. It was a Saturday. I was in my dorm working on side gigs when she called. Said she was alone in one of the lecture halls. Stomach hurting so bad she couldn't walk. I dropped everything and ran. Found her curled up in a chair. White as a sheet. Sweating through her forehead. I didn't hesitate to squatted down. Told her to climb on my back. And carried her all the way off campus to a taxi. Straight to the hospital. After that, we texted all the time. Grabbed meals together sometimes. After graduation, she went to work at her family's company. I used everything I'd saved over 4 years to start my own small business. The early days were brutal. I was always stressing about money. Emma found me and transferred a pretty substantial sum. Don't stress about it. Think of it as my investment in you. Eventually, the company took off. Got stable. I paid her back with interest. And bought her a really nice jewelry set on top. Emma kept taking me out. Buying me things. Asking me to movies. I knew she liked me. But I wanted her to be the one to make the move. On her birthday, she asked me if I wanted to be with her. I asked her why me. She looked me dead in the eye. Completely serious. Because you're so alive. So driven. Being around you. It makes me want to be better too. We started dating. Lots of people didn't think we made sense. Said I was punching way above my weight. But I figured if she chose me, it's because there's something about me worth choosing. I had just as much to bring to the table. I was good enough. My friend Noah wasn't sold on it either. Said when a girl that rich loves you, she loves you hard, but if it ends, you're the one who gets hurt worse. I wasn't scared. I chose her. And I could give as good as I got. Feelings. Money, all of it. We got married. Afterwards. When she was good to me. I wanted to be even better to her. Bags. Cars. Jewelry. Gold. People asked what she liked. I knew the expensive stuff was always safe. Even when her friends whispered behind my back that I was a kept man. That I only got anywhere because of her connections, I never felt small. Never wanted to walk away. But in the end, I couldn't compete with a first love she'd never quite gotten over. She never cheated physically. But her heart had already tilted toward the one that got away. I pulled myself out of the memory and looked at her. She was furious now. Liam. What is that supposed to mean? You wish I'd cheated so you'd have something to hold over me. So you could take more. I didn't answer. Didn't even look at her again. I walked away with Noah. Noah glanced back. She's still watching you. Then he said, Hey. My cousin's back in town. She's really interested in your company's projects. You want to meet her? Noah's cousin Charlotte Chandler. Ran half the Chandler group these days. We'd met properly for the first time in the conference room on the top floor of my building. Negotiating a partnership between our companies. She was reserved. Didn't talk much. But sharp as a tack and straight to the point. After a few meetings, we closed the deal. I was walking her out when she spoke up suddenly. I'm supposed to go to a gala tonight. But my date bailed last minute. Mr. Carter. Would you do me a favor? Sure. I said immediately. 1. We just signed a deal. Being accommodating was good for business. 2. It was just a gala. No big deal. Charlotte changed into a black velvet gown. When she walked in on my arm, every head in the room turned. I spotted Emma in the crowd. Ethan was next to her. And Olivia. And some guy I didn't know well, James. A month since I'd seen her. And I was surprised by how calm I felt. No bitterness. No regret. No anger. Nothing. Good. I was proud of myself. Emma noticed me too. The second our eyes met, her smile froze. Her gaze locked on Charlotte's hand on my arm. Then traveled up to her face. She looked stunned. She stared at me for a long time. Looked like she wanted to come over. Ethan caught her zoning out fast. Followed her line of sight over to us. He raised an eyebrow. A faint, amused smirk tugging at his lips. Then he leaned in close to Emma's ear and said something. But Emma wasn't listening. She was distracted. Eyes darting back to me again and again. Like she couldn't help it. Charlotte noticed the staring. Glanced at me sidelong. Someone you know? Ex-wife. I said. No point hiding it. She nodded slightly. Then never mind. Let's go talk business. She pulled me along to work the room. When the gala ended, Charlotte let go of my arm. Polite and distant. Thank you for your help tonight, Mr. Carter. I'll have my assistant follow up on the partnership details. Anytime. I nodded. We went our separate ways. Perfectly in sync. She got into the Chandler family car. I walked to mine. Opened the door. And heard a breathless, rough voice behind me. Liam. I turned. It was Emma. Her eyes were red. Something you need. She bit her lip and grabbed my arm. It's late. Drive me home. I saw 2 guys and a woman coming up behind her. I pulled my arm free. We're divorced. Don't harass a single man. Emma went pale. Ethan walked up then. Emma. I'll take you home. Emma shook her head. You take Olivia. I'll go with James. I didn't have time for their drama. I got in my car. Started the engine. And drove off. Within a couple days. Word was all over the industry that I'd latched onto the Chandler heiress. I couldn't have cared less. Let people talk. It's not like it hurt me. Besides, I was making more money now. Who had time for gossip? Emma. Though she had a falling out with one of her friends over it. Heard the girl had been laughing about me in front of everyone. Saying I had no real skills. Just knew how to land women. Emma threw a drink in her face right there. Then she tore into her. You're the one with no skills and no one who wants you. Liam's better than you at everything except where he was born. What is this jealousy? After that. None of her friends said it to her face. What they said behind her back. Nobody could stop that. Emma called me later. I didn't answer. But Olivia showed up at my office. Liam. There's really nothing going on between Emma and Ethan. She knows I like him. She's been trying to set us up. How naive. I raised an eyebrow. Let me ask you something. Olivia nodded. Confused. If your boyfriend got you a birthday present and got the exact same thing for your best friend, how would you feel? She blinked. Why would he be that nice to my best friend? I kept going. What if your best friend worked for him? And he stayed late helping her? Brought her to events instead of you? Let her use his private elevator? Olivia frowned. Is he into my best friend? I smiled a little. What if he gave you the Cold War just to defend her? Even fought with you over her? That's messed up. Olivia cut in. He's definitely into my best friend. She frowned. Confused. Wait, why are you telling me all this? I came here to talk about Emma. I laughed. Everything I just described. That's everything Emma's done for Ethan. Still think there's nothing between them. Olivia went blank. Her mouth opened and closed. But Emma knows I like Ethan. I looked at her. And what about Ethan? Does he know you like him? Olivia's face fell. I gave her one piece of advice. Don't waste your time on Ethan. He's not interested. Now if that's all, you can see yourself out. I showed her the door. I wouldn't have bothered. But I knew she was here to talk me around on Emma's behalf. And I wanted absolutely nothing to do with Emma's drama anymore. Olivia hesitated. Didn't move. Liam. Honestly. Emma regrets the divorce. She watched me curiously. Like she was waiting for a reaction. I shrugged. Does she? Doesn't seem like it to me. She just doesn't like how things changed. I'd told her plainly that her relationship with Ethan bothered me. But she always thought I was just being jealous. Just being petty. She never saw the divorce coming. Not really. She never cheated. So she thought she could stand on her high horse and blame me. I didn't give her the chance. If I hadn't gotten out when I did, every fight we had about Ethan, she would have found a way to make it my fault. I just didn't give her the opening. I held all the cards now. On my way home from work, Emma called. Liam. What did you say to Olivia? Why is she so upset? I was fed up. Maybe you should ask yourself what you did. What's that supposed to mean? She didn't sound happy. I didn't owe her an explanation. I hung up. The Chandler partnership was paying off well. I took Charlotte out to dinner to say thank you. We'd barely sat down when I felt someone staring. I turned and there was Emma. Getting up from a nearby table and walking straight over. Liam. Why did you block my number? Why do you think? I asked back. She'd started calling me in the middle of the night for no reason. I'd pick up. And she'd say nothing. Like she was waiting for me to start the conversation. But there was nothing to say. So I'd hang up. Third time she called at 2 a.m. I told her to spit it out. She started crying. Still wouldn't say anything. That's when I blocked her. Emma looked terrible. Her eyes flicked to Charlotte. Ms. Chandler. Mind if I sit here? Charlotte glanced at her. Mr. Carter's treating tonight. Ask him. Her expression stayed perfectly neutral. I stepped in. Sorry. Ms. Sterling. Ms. Chandler and I have business to discuss. Not a good time. Emma's face crumpled. Her eyes bounced between me and Charlotte. And she frowned. What exactly is your relationship? Charlotte raised an eyebrow. Slowly took a sip of water. And stood up. I'll use the ladies' room. You two talk. As soon as she was gone, Emma rounded on me. Are you seeing her? Her voice was shaking. I was done with this. We're both single. Even if we were. What of it? Emma went white. And besides, I added. We're divorced. Who I see is none of your business. Emma snapped. Liam. Are you actually with her? I'd run out of patience. Emma. You agreed to the divorce. You signed the papers. You went to the clerk's office. Nobody made you do any of it. You don't get to ask about my love life. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Suddenly she grabbed my wrist. Voice pleading. Liam. I know I messed up. I was wrong. Come back. I'm sorry. Let's get back together. I wrenched my hand away. No. Emma. I gave you 3 chances. You wasted every single one. The first day you gave me the cold shoulder over Ethan. That's when we were done. Emma looked like she might pass out. You got to have a husband who adored you. And you got to hang on to your old first love crush at the same time. You wanted everything. And now you're going to end up with nothing. Tears were streaming down her face. I'm sorry. Can't you just give me one more chance? No. Just then, Charlotte came back. I stood up. Food's cold. Let's go somewhere else. Charlotte nodded. Got up and walked out with me. Behind us, I could hear Emma breaking down, sobbing. I didn't look back. Even if you glue a broken mirror back together, the cracks are still there. Not for me. I'd rather keep moving forward. Olivia and Emma had a falling out. Olivia had confessed to Ethan and gotten rejected, which stung. But she'd still brushed off what I said and kept hanging around Emma's crowd. Then one day, Emma got so drunk she had to go to the hospital. Olivia went to visit. She was just outside the room when she heard Ethan confessing his feelings to Emma. And Emma turned him down. Ethan got angry. If you don't like me, why were you so nice to me when I came back? You even got divorced over me. Emma shouted. Shut up. I'm not going to be with you. If you want to stay friends, don't say this again. Ethan's voice rose. Is this about Liam? You still have feelings for him. But you're divorced. Emma threw a glass at his feet. I said shut up. Do you understand me? I regret ever hiring you at my company. Ethan sounded hurt. Emma. You know you like me. Why won't you be with me? Emma growled. I don't like you anymore. Ethan wouldn't let it go. What's so great about Liam? Anyway. That kept man. Emma yelled again. Shut up. Listening from outside, Olivia put it all together. She felt so stupid. She burst into the room. Eyes red. You two are disgusting. What? You haven't slept together yet. Ethan frowned. Olivia. That's a terrible thing to say. Emma's face darkened. Olivia. How can you say that? I was doing this for you. Olivia cut her off. Save it. You both know exactly why you did what you did. Don't act like this was for me when you two were playing whatever game this was. She scoffed. Already turning to leave. No wonder Liam divorced you. She walked out without looking at Emma's furious face. Have you gotten over Emma completely? Charlotte asked me once while we were working together. I didn't answer right away. 8 years. You don't just get over something like that overnight. But she wasn't going to affect me anymore. Working with Charlotte was easy. No drama. Just results. As for relationships, whatever happens, happens. I wasn't going to force anything. And I wasn't going to run from it either. So what if she's more successful than I am? So what if people call me a kept man? If I married someone and she wouldn't even let me benefit from her connections? What kind of wife would that be? Though honestly, I still prefer making my own money. Nothing feels as solid as earning it yourself. Hey there. Could you rate this story in the comments? Use a scale of 1 to 10. Please, I am begging you. It really means a lot to me. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit follow.